Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scanner Monkey TV. This week, we are honored to have Colin Puckett of Amazon Business. He's a senior marketing manager at Amazon Business. Join us to tell us all about the exciting opportunities at Amazon Business. I first met Colin at the Retail Global Conference last month in Vegas. And my name is Cordelia Blake, and I help run Scanner Monkey, which is a tribe of Amazon sellers. We are a trade organization and we just support each other. That's our whole thing. So anyway, Colin, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
And so can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Amazon?
Sure. Again, I'm the senior marketing manager for Amazon Business, and I actually sit on the marketplace side of Amazon Business, meaning that all of my marketing activities are seller-facing. We're looking to bring new sellers onto the marketplace and then educate the existing sellers that we have on new opportunities as we continue to innovate on behalf of our customers, launch new features, and add some new bells and whistles to Seller Central that hopefully will surprise and delight you every once in a while and give you the tools you need to reach more business customers.
So I love that about Amazon Business is that you guys, it's like you're into the sellers. It seems like Amazon regular, like the sellers are just a little bit more of an afterthought. And it seems like Amazon Business is very seller focused. Is that, can you tell us a little about why that is?
Sure. I think there's a unique opportunity for sellers at Amazon Business. Obviously, the B2C marketplace is more mature. Obviously, it's been around longer. We're only 18 months old at Amazon Business. But when you think about the B2B marketplace that we're creating, a lot of the new selection that's being added is really pioneering new areas of selection on Amazon. So when you think about pioneering those new areas of selection, where is that selection going to come from? And this is selection that businesses are looking for. Obviously, the quickest way to bring that selection to the platform is for us to reach out to motivated 3P sellers that are looking to reach this new class of customer that's coming on board in the form of these small, medium-sized, and even enterprise-level businesses that are looking for a new experience for them as consumers or in their procurement organization. I mean, really, the whole idea behind Amazon Business was we had customers coming to us and saying, I love the Prime experience at home. I love Amazon. I go home and I can use Alexa. I can use my app. It's really easy to get everything I need for home. And then I go into the office and I'm dealing with paper catalogs. I'm faxing purchase orders. I've got stacks of invoices. I'm waiting for the sales guy to come by once a month with the paper catalog and a dozen donuts, and that's what I have to do to procure what I need for my office. Why can't I have that Amazon experience at work? So that was really the idea behind this. And like I said, the enthusiasm and the real breadth of selection has really been so strong on the seller side of our business that we're really doubling down on the fact that our sellers are going to bring that unique selection that businesses are looking for. So I feel really excited to be a part of that kind of level of innovation where we're not just trying to bring all this selection to the customers, but we're trying to do so from an entirely value-added and new set of tools that layer on top of your existing Seller Central account.
Yeah, I love how it's so easy. Once you're signed up for it as a seller, it's just a second column. So you see your inventory and you see your sort of regular prices, and then you just see another row with your business pricing, and you can set up your volume discount. So it's very easy from a seller to have that be part of your inventory management. You don't have to add on like logging into a separate place or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And that was one of the early misconceptions that we found out that we could have done a better job of communicating, which is that this is not a separate Seller Central. You don't have to separate out your inventory. If you've got all your inventory in FBA or your MFN, you don't need separate inventory. You don't need to parse everything out. We're really just giving you these new pricing features that are specific to targeting those business customers. And we'll get into what some of the other features are, but we wanted this to be a value-added layer on top of your existing Seller Central experience that opened up a whole new world of customers for you. And we hope that we've done a good job of that so far, but we've sure got a long way to go.
Yeah, I think so far it's good. I think part of the challenge as a seller is there's always something, like you said, there's always some new division of Amazon, like Amazon Handmade and Amazon custom and merch and all these different things. And so sometimes, I sign up for everything, the new video delivery system where you sign up for stuff and you're like, all right, now what? Like, you don't have time to keep doing, new things all the time. So it's nice that, the Amazon business is so easily integrated with your already like business structure that you already have.
Yeah.
But I know you have a presentation. So I think Colin's going to review the presentation he did at Retail Global, which is a great presentation. And so for those of you who couldn't make it, you get to see it, which is exciting. And then we'll do as many questions as we can. We're going to have the same disclaimer with Colin that we have when we have accountants and lawyers on the show, which is that they can't always answer every question. So they're not allowed. So Colin is going to do his best to answer what he can and to help us in any way that he can. He's been great so far, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Colin.
Sure. All right.
All right. So do you want to start your presentation?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and share screen here in just a second. Again, this was a breakout presentation that we delivered at Retail Global. Real high level, talking about kind of how Amazon business started. I may repeat a few of the things I just talked about, but I'm going to go ahead and dive in and. And there will be some ways at the end that I will offer up that you can contact us. You can learn more. There's some great resources for you. So I will do what I can to answer your questions, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm hoping that it's a little different not to be in front of an audience. I'm staring at a laptop, so I may run through this a little faster than normal, but we'll see how it goes.
Fine. And we do have, I don't know if you want to see it. Some people like it and some don't. We have a chat.
Okay.
And so our audience is able to type interactively in with us, and I'm monitoring the chat, so you don't have to, but if you would like to, you are welcome to. So it's totally up to you.
I'll try to get through this, and then we'll try to open it up a little more.
All right, so go for it. If we have any questions or if I need to pause you, I will, but otherwise we're excited to hear it.
Great. Am I showing up okay? You can see.
Yeah, looks great.
Great. Okay, well, again, welcome everybody. I don't know if any of you were at Retail Global, but I have now effectively saved you a trip to Vegas. So, so you are welcome. So welcome to the presentation on Amazon Business. Again, my name is Colin Puckett, and let's dive right in here. Make sure I am. There we go. So one of the first questions we often get is, why B2B? What's the, why would Amazon create this new marketplace? And I talked about it a few minutes ago. As you guys have probably heard ad nauseum from Amazon, we start with the customer and work backwards. That's really the way we develop our new products and new initiatives. And in this case, it was that idea of our consumers coming to us and saying, I want that Amazon experience at work. We took a look and realized that we feel like there's an incredible opportunity for innovation in the B2B world. B2B still operates on some more quote unquote old school kind of principles that are very much offline, relationship based. Not that any of that doesn't have value, but we think that there's a great opportunity for innovation, especially as we see millennials and the younger generation becoming a bigger part of the corporate procurement processes and expecting to have more of that digital experience in purchasing for work, just like they do at home. So that was the idea behind Amazon Business. We like to talk about it as everything you love about Amazon for your business. As I said, we're 18 months old. We launched in April of 2015, so it's still really early days for us. We're not very famous for tooting our own horn, so I really like this presentation because it allows me to put a few quotes in there of what some of the media was saying about us this past April, which was our 1-year anniversary. There's some really impressive stuff in here that I really do like to talk about, especially that customer purchases are growing at about 20% each month. So when you think about that growth rate, what that tells me is that our business customers are appreciating the experience that we're bringing to them in the office, and they're moving more of their spend onto the Amazon Business platform. Obviously, that is a customer quote, but I think it should really resonate with you as sellers because it helps you think about some of the ways that you might be able to source products or adjust your listing in ways that are going to be more attractive to these businesses. We'll talk more about what a business really means, but I think if you're only thinking about businesses as being a Fortune 500 company, the definition is much broader than that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. You can see the CNET quote on the bottom here is one of my favorites. A lot of business purchasing still happens with catalogs. So this is true. This is what was happening at my former employer before I joined Amazon. I spent almost 12 years with an industrial distribution and manufacturing company, and we were ordering out of catalogs. We were faxing purchase orders and faxing invoices on a daily basis. That was just the way things were done, and I think a lot of businesses still operate on that idea of this is the way we've always done it. Well, I think what we're seeing is customers are demanding more than this is the way we've always done it. And again, Amazon has a unique opportunity to be the innovators behind that idea. A little bit more here. We were very proud to announce at the 1 year mark that we had passed $1 billion in sales. So that tells you that in the first year we got a few things right, but we have a long way to go. Business to business sales of things like electronics and office supplies are an $8.2 trillion market in the US. Trillion. When you see a number like that, it gives you an idea of the opportunity space that we're looking at. So, we're in very early days and we feel good about what we've accomplished. But at Amazon, when you see some numbers like that, it gives you some bigger things to shoot for. And again, I'm excited to be here talking to sellers about how we can start to accomplish reaching some of those customers that are spending those kind of dollars. So what do our customers look like? We now serve more than 400,000 businesses. When I say 400,000 businesses, that's not individual accounts, that's 400,000 businesses. And some of the functionality that we now have available for business customers include things like multi-department and multi-user accounts. So whether you have a different corporate purchasing card for every buyer, or you just have one purchasing card at the top level of your account and you have workflows and approvals for your different branches or your different departments, we can incorporate all that into your customer account. So it's a very layered and corporate approved buying experience depending on how you approve all your purchases at the office. Thousands of registered new business accounts are being created every week. So we've got all different shapes and sizes of businesses joining us all the time, ever increasing that big opportunity. Talked about the $1 billion in our first year and the customer purchase increases, but you can see that 20% per month, that adds up pretty quickly and increases our opportunity space to reach these businesses. Customer experience. When I'm talking to sellers, I always like to start with the customer experience. One of the unique things about B2B is that you are all businesses. You're all, most of your business owners of your own, and you buy for work. When you buy supplies, Cordelia, when you bought your Atari mug, that was in some ways that's a business purchase. So you think about the things that you buy for business, and I encourage everybody to think about that when they're looking at the Amazon business opportunity. Is put your business buyer hat on and think about what you have to buy for work, and consider that when you're thinking about your own catalog as a seller. The other things that we offer for business customers, obviously the things like delivery flexibility, different payment methods, procurement system integration. There's a lot of these large corporations have very strict procurement systems and software programs. We can now integrate directly into those. Some of you may be working with integrators on the seller side. This is the buy-side version of some of that integration, which is that your procurement system can connect directly to the Amazon Business Marketplace, opening up our entire marketplace to those large organizations who have decided to basically connect that pipe into Amazon Business. Spend controls I talked about. If the accounting department can only spend $500 at a time, but your engineering department can spend $1,000 at a time, our business customers can build all of those controls directly into their system. Direct business customer support. You can contact business customer support to help you through all these corporate procurement hurdles that we're working to innovate around, but we do have dedicated customer support for those as well. Who's buying on Amazon Business? I think that's going to be a big question today. Who are these customers and how can I reach them? You can see here from this slide, literally all different shapes and sizes from a number of different industries. Consumer products, pharmaceutical, manufacturing, consulting, healthcare. I like to talk about universities because I think it's a really good example of the type of customers we're bringing on board. A lot of sellers ask me, what are your customers looking for? Let's look at an example of a large university, okay? Let's look at an example, especially of a large state university, for example, because in effect, that is a government customer. A state university, what is the medical school buying? Lab and scientific, consumables like medical gloves, scrubs, workwear, comfortable shoes. My mother was a nurse for 30 years and her shoe purchases were the most important thing for her job because she was on her feet all day. That's a business purchase. You look at the business school, they may be outfitting all of their new conference rooms and video conferencing equipment with tech, IT, furniture, tables. You've got a facilities maintenance division that's buying lawnmowers, what we would call patio lawn and garden, or tools and home improvement to fix the doors when they break, to change the locks on the buildings. These are all things that fall under a university procurement system. And then when we talk about things like the traditional office supplies, absolutely. Traditional educational supplies, absolutely. But what if you've got a big pep rally coming up and you need t-shirts? That's a university purchase also. So it's very hard for me to say, what is a university looking for? Because as you can see, and as most of you know already on Amazon, that one customer type can span 50 different traditional retail categories with the type of selection that they're looking for on a daily basis. So that really gives you a little bit of insight into the type of things that these business customers are going to be looking for when you just use that one example of a university.
So Colin, a quick question for you. If you are logging in as a business customer, as a business buyer, you're on your corporate account.
Yeah.
You see the stuff that's on Amazon that's not part of the Amazon business catalog?
You see everything.
Okay.
You see the entire catalog. However, let me preface that by saying, when you log on, you get a different homepage. You get a different, what we call the gateway. The Amazon.com, when you're logged in as your business account, you get a different gateway experience. So you're not going to see that Bosch 2.0, season 2 of Bosch release this week, right? You are going to see specific opportunities to stock up on business relevant purchases, okay?
So like if you search Post-it pads, you're going to see, like if I'm registered as a business seller, you're going to see my Post-it pads. But then if you're registered as just a regular seller, you're going to see those other Post-it pads as well?
You're going to see all of them in both cases.
But you'll see that some maybe have volume discounts, some don't. That's how you'll distinguish it?
Correct. The business customers are going to, so Cordelia, if you are selling those Post-it pads and you've got business pricing listed on those and you've got quantity discounts listed, they're going to see all of the selection that's available, but they're also going to very easily see that you're offering business pricing and you're offering quantity discounts. And that's going to be an indication to the business customer that you're serious about attracting their business. Now, keep in mind, another feature of businesses is that they're buying more often. So if they can find suppliers that are continually offering them those quantity discounts and those volume discounts, they can come back. So that's part of what we're trying to promote here, is that continual business. So, but to go back to your original question, we're not the whole. If a business customer comes on board and wants to buy a Pokemon plush, they can do that. We're not limiting that. We're not limiting that selection, but their experience will be customized to highlight offers from business sellers.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yep.
Okay. Great. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the customer experience. What does that mean for sellers? So we now have more than 37,000 business sellers. This next stat is very important. More than half of the Amazon business sales are coming from third-party sellers. So that's an indication, again, of the opportunity space. Like I talked about, a lot of this unique business selection is coming from third-party sellers, and that's what businesses are starting to find. So we're very pleased to say that more than half of this growth is coming from third-party sellers. You mentioned the business pricing and quantity discounts. We've now got that on more than 5 million items. We also have hundreds of minority-owned, women-owned, and ISO-certified sellers who have opted into our diversity and quality credentials program. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, with the idea being...
Sorry, what's ISO certified? Is that another one?
That's a quality management system. So
okay.
It's also a credential, but it's not related to your diversity or your small business status. It's related to a documented quality management system that you have in place.
Okay.
So for more technical buyers, maybe looking for technical products that come from an ISO certified company. And what that means is that they have some checks and balances in place in the event that a product doesn't meet up to the design criteria that they are looking for from a technical perspective, that they have some recourse to go back to that seller and understand more through their quality management system how they can go about redesigning that product to fit their unique needs. That's a rough description, but it's a quality
Gotcha.
assurance rather than a diversity assurance. Okay.
So if you're a business buyer and you're logged in as like a regular account, not a business account,
Yep.
and you can't tell that the thing you're buying is being sold by a women-owned business or minority-owned business. But if you're a business buyer logged into your business account, you can tell if that buyer is credentialed or not.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Yep. I think the credentials program is important to us, and I'm hoping that we can expand it in a number of different directions. I think from my team's perspective, the ability for a seller to tell their unique story is a really important feature, of this, and it's true for Amazon Business today. And I think we'll continue to innovate around the idea of sellers being able to tell their unique story through programs like the Credentials program.
Interesting.
All right. So what is, I'm going to give you a few examples here of some of the features that we built. The first one being business pricing. So as you can see here, this is the view that a business seller would see when a business price is available. Okay. And below we have quantity discounts as well. So obviously the idea here being that businesses are looking for deals just like consumers are, but often businesses are looking for deals not just on a one-off basis, but what if I stock up for the entire quarter? Or what if I stock up for the entire month? Keeping in mind that businesses are often operating on a budgetary schedule. And if that budgetary schedule is one where we're reaching the end of the quarter and I've got X number of dollars left and it's a use it or lose it type situation, I'm going to stock up on those supplies that I know I'm going to need. That may be that, hey, we usually have 30 new laptops for new employees every quarter, and we only bought 20. I'm running out of budget time. I better stock up for next quarter. So those are the types of ideas that quantity discounts are promoting, and businesses tend to buy in larger quantities. So we're really excited, and these are two of our more heavily adopted features, because certainly it's also obviously the most the quickest and most visible way to attract business customers.
And have you guys found the return rate for businesses is any different statistically than regular buyers?
What do you mean the return rate?
Like if they buy 50 laptops and then change their mind tomorrow, are they returning them, or any more than like normal buyers are? Or is the percentages any different?
I understand. No, have not. I don't have the specific data, but there's been no noticeable uplift in any of that.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we've also done some work with our in some categories. We now have tiered referral fee structures, where for those larger quantity orders or the higher dollar value orders, we're actually dropping our referral fees to small percentages. Trying to promote sellers to if you hit a certain dollar value, we will charge you a smaller referral fee. So that's all available in Seller Central. In some of the core, and we've divided that up into some of the more core business specific categories. Obviously, some of the BIS category, business, industrial, and scientific, and some of the office products categories are the more popular business categories.
Is that only through business, or do you get that from because I just got my first time where they tried to get me to lower my price, and they offered me like a lower.
Hmm.
referral fee. And I didn't realize that came from my business thing. I thought that was just my regular seller's account. So I didn't know.
It could have been. There are, by category, there may be referral fee promotions happening.
Okay.
So that's certainly not unheard of.
Okay.
Referral fee promotions will happen periodically depending on the category and what they're trying to promote. But we, on the Amazon business side, we're trying to promote those quantity discounts and those larger purchases on a more permanent basis in some of our core categories.
Gotcha.
All right. Here we'll talk a little bit more about the credentials and certifications piece and also the profile editor. So the top feature here is called the profile editor. And what that does is enables you to put your logo on there. You can add another photo of your business, and you've got some space to tell your business's story a little bit more. Write a paragraph about how many employees you have, how you got your start, what's the history of your business. We know that business customers are not just looking for a one-off purchase in many cases, but they're looking for a supplier. So when you're looking for a supplier instead of looking for a product, you're looking for more information on the actual company, the health of the company, the history of the company. How long has this company been in business? If I'm looking at creating a long-term relationship with this company, I want to know a little bit more about them. So the profile editor gives you the baseline ability to start delivering some of that information to hopefully create a longer-term supply relationship. Below here, we'll talk more about this, but the credentials program, we currently have over 18 different quality and diversity credentials. Again, quality is like the ISO quality management system I talked about. That's more of a company level quality system certification. It comes in all different shapes and sizes depending on the industry that you're in. There are some environmental certifications. There are some quality management certifications. If you're in the food service business, for example, there's other layers of certifications. But it's another layer of telling your business's story and really the management systems that you put in place to ensure your level of quality. And that can be very important to business customers. From a diversity perspective, whether you're a small business, a women-owned business, a minority-owned business, an LGBTQ-owned business. Mm-hmm. Those are all certifications that we offer that will be visible to those business customers, and they will be able to find your products on detail pages and understand more about you as a business, and especially if they are looking to support sellers. Either they're looking to support sellers as part of their own procurement program, or they have a diversity spending quota they need to meet. That discoverability is going to be there for them to understand how to find you and how to find your products.
So because when last we spoke, the search hadn't incorporated the credentials yet. Has that been added?
We're not yet. I mean, it's still basically you can see on the detail pages, you can see that information on the seller profiles. And I think one of the areas that we'd really like to focus our innovation next is in the ability to discover and refine your searches by some of these criteria. So I would say stay tuned on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else do credentials mean for us? It means it gives us some more opportunities to talk about these credential businesses. This is an example of a screenshot we did for International Women's Day back in March. This is very aptly timed, and I didn't get time to put the slide together. But today, actually, we put up our veteran-owned business promotion on the Amazon Business Gateway. So if you're logged in as a business customer, you go to Amazon.com. On one of those hero slots on the top, we call them the hero merchandising slots, that top ad. We have a veteran-owned business promotion where you can shop business-relevant products from veteran-owned businesses in honor of Veterans Day. So it's another way that we can use these credentials programs to bring more eyeballs to those sellers that carry these unique stories. Enhanced content. This has become another really important feature that we've built out. The idea here being that one of the aspects of business purchases is often the need to purchase technical products. So if you're building complex machinery, if you're fixing certain equipment and you need to know if the replacement parts are actually going to fit, you may need more information than we have traditionally provided on detail pages. So the enhanced content feature allows you to upload various types of documentation that are going to give those customers that added layer of understanding of what you're selling them. That could be 3D drawings, 2D engineering drawings, that could be installation guides, parts manuals. There's a number of different use cases that we've seen, with the idea being that you can add those additional layers of detail to your listings for those more technical customer purchases. And for this enhanced content,
what about video? Can you add video?
Not yet. We're working on, that's a huge request, and we would certainly like to get there. Obviously, the file size and some of those other constraints make it a little challenging, but that is one of our most common requests, and it's something I would love to see us move quickly on. And I can guarantee you that's probably a request that's keeping some people up at night.
Because I think Amazon Marketing Services does that, where the bigger customers can have video, so they have that capability.
there is some of that. I think when I say not yet, I mean at scale.
Right.
There is some ability to do that on the platform that's being tested with some of the larger customers, and I would just love to see it on a larger basis. And I think as we see the capability to handle more of those large file sizes, hopefully that's a direction we'll go. But customers are clamoring for it, which means that we're probably hard at work on it in one of these many buildings down here.
All right.
Okay. So what does this all mean? How does this show up when you are a business seller? This gives you an example of how you will show up, again, as a business seller on some of these detail pages. So what that means is, and you can also see right under that red circle, you can see the ISO 9001 certification. So that's a quality management certification. So this is what's going to show up when your offer's on the screen. So business customers are going to know that they are buying from a business seller who has adopted some of these features and is focused on serving business customers. Okay. As I was asked to do at Retail Global, there's a few takeaways that I'd like to highlight. One is when I did talk about perspective. I would encourage everybody to have. You're all business buyers. You all buy things for your business. So as you're thinking about how to take advantage of some of these features, if you want to take advantage of some of these features, think about the things you buy every day for your business, and think about how you may be able to offer unique selection to businesses like your own, or businesses that you deal with all the time, because those are the types of businesses that are coming to the marketplace by the thousands every week. Look at your current selection. This is number 2. Look at your current selection and think about where you might be able to add some business features, where you might be thinking that you've got a one-off retail price for a consumer. Where might you have some selection that would be appropriate in larger quantities for a business that they might be looking for? That's a great way to test some of our features. Take a look at what a quantity discount looks like and test the waters a little bit. One of the things I didn't mention in this slide is a feature called Request for Quantity Discount. So as a business seller, if you have offers on an ASIN that a business customer is looking for in quantity, but they can't find a quantity discount, we have a new feature where business customers can actually submit a request for quantity discount.
Oh, okay.
And if you have an offer on that ASIN as a business seller, you'll receive an email indicating the quantity, and it will give you the opportunity basically to add that quantity discount. You have, I believe it's 48 hours to do it. And at the conclusion of that time frame, the business customer will get an indication of those offers, and they can now select to buy in quantity. So again, it's another way we're trying to enable that communication between business customers and sellers for those business customers who are looking to buy in larger quantities but can't find that quantity discount. So we've seen some really great success where a seller will get one of these requests for quantity discounts, add those quantity discounts across their catalog, and start to find some of those orders coming in on ASINs that they may not have expected to sell in quantities. But now that these requests are coming in, the light bulbs are starting to go on in some certain areas. So that's another exciting feature that our sellers are really starting to embrace.
So if somebody requests a discount, if somebody
Yeah.
says, I want to buy 50 of these, what can you do for me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you as a seller then agreeing to do that for every buyer or just that one particular buyer?
In this case, you're actually adding the offer to your ASIN, so it becomes visible to everyone.
But then you could theoretically undo it. Like if you wanted to just offer it to that one buyer and then undo it like a week later, you could, right?
In theory, yes.
But I know you don't recommend that, but that would be an option, right?
Yeah, in theory, that would be an option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Product sourcing. So this is one thing I talk to a lot of sellers about. For example, let's say you are in the PC business and you sell consumer grade PC laptops that somebody would use at home or would buy for their teenager. But you also have access to more professional grade IT equipment. That the same supplier you have has things like servers or more high grade equipment. That's some of the technology that we're seeing business customers looking for. So that may be a logical way to try to expand your catalog into some areas that business customers are looking for. If you're in the apparel business, but you have access to workwear, another example. If you're selling tools that are kind of the handyman weekend warrior variety, but you do have access to more contractor and professional grade tools, that's another area where we're seeing expansion. So I would just encourage everyone to think about where your current selection may kind of cross that line into more professional grade. And that might be an area to think about as you look for product sourcing and expanding your catalog. Number 4 is an important one. I started with this and I'll finish with this. As an Amazon business seller, the basics don't change. You don't need separate inventory. You're not going to pay any more on a monthly basis. Your professional seller fee remains the same. There's no additional fee there. The basics don't change of selling on Amazon. We're going to add a few columns to your flat file. We're going to add a few options in your Seller Central to be a business seller, but those are all options that are designed to target a new class of customer that's coming in. It's not going to change your trusted Amazon experience as a seller. This is value added. This is not an entirely different experience, but we want to really create value by enabling you to target business customers who are coming to us in some pretty impressive numbers right now. And really the idea here is that we want to support and delight those business customers by bringing them relevant selection from third-party sellers across the board.
Okay. Is that the end of the presentation?
Oh, you know what? I think I got one more here, like I promised.
There we go.
I'll leave that up for a minute. So if you are new to Amazon business, want just a little bit more information, that top URL is kind of our homepage on the Amazon services ecosystem. If you are an existing Amazon professional seller and you want to check your eligibility, when I talk about eligibility, that's one that also comes up. I didn't dive into that too much. We do have a higher bar for performance. So ODR and some of those metrics, we hold a higher bar for our business sellers. Check your eligibility. If you don't currently meet the eligibility bar, you can also request an exception, and we will work with you to make sure that we're getting your metrics improved to be able to service those business customers. Because obviously, being a little bit late on a consumer shipment is one thing. Being late on a business supply contract where businesses are running based on supplies that you're sending them, that's a little different ballgame, and we want to make sure that we're supporting our business customers as well. So think about those aspects of it as you look at the eligibility requirements. Again, I would encourage you to put your business customer hat on and go and register for a free business customer account. Before you do that, remember, use a different email address if you're expecting if you don't use a different email address than your current consumer experience on Amazon, you're going to change your experience. So I want everybody to understand that. For example, my Amazon business customer account uses my Amazon email address. My Amazon consumer account uses my Gmail address. So think about that as you're creating a free Amazon business customer account. But I find that the best way to get accustomed to what selling on Amazon business is going to look like is to log on as an Amazon business customer. And if you have questions about selling on Amazon business, that alias below is monitored by a team of from our sales department. When I say sales department, we are looking to bring new sellers onto the Amazon business platform, and we're here to help. So I encourage you to look at all of these different ways to engage with our team. And I'm actually, Cordelia, I'll keep you posted. I'm working on spinning up some other social media placements for us where you can follow some more of what we're doing on the Amazon business selling team. So as I set up all of those different accounts, I will give that to you so you can forward that on to your listeners as well.
Thank you so much.
Certainly. So with that, I'm going to stop the share here, and I'm all yours.
All right. So we definitely have some questions.
Okay.
I made notes also.
Okay.
One of the things that a lot of our sellers are sort of opportunistic. So they're looking for things that are sort of missing, things that has less competition, and then they go out and source them rather than sort of like having a bunch of stuff that they just sell. How is sales rank data in the Amazon business catalog like the same as in the regular catalog? If you're trying to analyze a potential product, can you look at the rank data?
You mean specific to Amazon
like the
business?
BSR rank? Yeah. Is the BSR the same in Amazon business, I guess, is my question.
It's we don't have all of the data separated out at this point. So it's a little, today it is a little bit more difficult to parse out the real business specific opportunities. So that's why I'm really careful about explaining the breadth of selection that some of these business customers are looking for. So it's a little bit tough to point your finger on some of the real specific stuff. But I think that as we move forward, we're going to be continuing to look at ways that we can innovate around the idea of that business customer specific data and try to incorporate that. Some of the innovations that you may have seen so far is if you're already selling on Amazon business, your order reports now will show which sales came from business customers. So that's one step in the right direction. So looking through your order reports, you can start to understand some of the patterns of what businesses are buying and double down on some of those areas as you start to post that data. But as far as a crystal ball for what businesses are looking for, haven't developed that one yet, but I'll see if I can write it into next year.
Get that crystal ball going.
What
about like tools to help analyze gaps in the catalog? Do we have anything like that, or is that something we can ask your team? Like, hey, we're thinking about getting into this area. Is that something that people are looking for, not looking for, or you can't tell us?
Well, I think we're. It's not that I can't tell you. I think we're always looking for areas of selection that we need to drive, and I think typically we will try to develop. We will try to develop some of those tools to give sellers information about where we recommend that they expand their catalogs, certainly. And you've probably seen a lot of that within Seller Central in your areas of expertise in terms of recommendations on where to expand your catalog. Again, I think we're still working through we're still a part of the overall Amazon marketplace. So I think what's lacking a little bit today, where we're really trying to drive the innovation, is around the specificity of that data for what the business customers are looking for. And that's where we're trying to continue our innovation.
Can businesses outside the USA create a business customer account?
No, not today. The customer marketplace is only operating in the United States today. Our sellers come from all over, but as of today, the Amazon business marketplace is only serving customers in the United States.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm just trying to go through these questions here. Wait, you answered that. Okay, so one of our members received an email from Amazon Business saying that 5 of her items did not have business offers. The email stated that these were, in particular, items were likely to attract customers.
Okay.
Is there some sort of tool for if you're not just randomly getting that email where you can figure out, I guess this is kind of related to what I already asked,
Okay.
what gaps are in the business catalog?
Got it. Well, typically in that type of a scenario, um, what it's going to be is we're looking at those what we perceive to be the gaps in the catalog. We're going to be looking at what we would call nudging a seller who has similar products. So we're looking for similarities in the catalog where we can say, it looks like you carry X, which is very similar to Y. You should add that. The harder part, and the reason I struggled a little bit to answer your previous question, is if you don't have anything similar already, and we don't know that you have access to some of these things, it makes it more difficult for us to predict on the more opportunistic side. It's easier for us to make a comparison and say, you carry model A from brand X, you should add model B from brand X as well, because we're seeing business customers looking for that. So I think that's kind of the model from a data perspective that was used in the example you just said from one of the sellers. But it's more difficult for us to say, let's just blast everybody with the holes in the catalog. It's not a very realistic way for us to adding the selection.
And what are you guys doing to attract more business buyers?
It is actually one of the areas of Amazon where we actually have a dedicated customer-facing sales team. We have a customer success team that is actively chasing down big customers. We have obviously, as is typical with Amazon, we have a tremendous kind of an email self-service, the ability for you to go sign up for your own free business account. And we're trying to make everyone aware of that on the usual marketing channels. But we also have a customer success team that is working with everyone from small businesses in certain areas all the way up to the Fortune 50, Fortune 500 type companies, on both getting them registered, but also getting helping them find ways to build more efficiencies that we offer into their procurement systems, with the idea being that we don't just want them to spend money, we want to bring value to them in the form of creating efficiencies within their organization. So we're really looking at this holistically to try not just to bring more customers, but also bring value to those customers and therefore get more of the spend commitment from those customers. So it's that quality versus quantity type of scenario that we're really looking to drive. And we do have a dedicated sales team on the consumer side, in this case, the business consumer side, recruiting those businesses on a daily basis, which is very unique to Amazon Business, because obviously you don't see a sales team out, recruiting prime customers.
Right. Go buy.
Yeah. So this is a very high priority deal for us, and we know that businesses require more of that high touch type of help in order to get them to adopt a lot of these features on the buying side, similarly to the features that we're building out on the selling side.
Now, is there a different from the seller end? Is there, like, if we reach out to like Amazon Business Seller Support or Seller Central, is that different than when we regularly have an issue?
Nope, same team. We've got them trained on a lot of our issues. They're working directly with us to make sure that as we launch new features, that marketplace wide, everyone is aware of those new features and how that is going to affect things like the seller support team. I will say that there have been some great new tools launched within the last year. I don't know how many of you have used Seller University, but there's a great video series available now for those of you who have not seen Seller University. We have a full series of Amazon business specific videos on Seller University that I really encourage you to use if you're looking to figure out how to add business pricing, quantity discounts, how to upload your credentials, certifications. Those are all video modules that are available to you in Seller University. So if you haven't seen those yet, I highly recommend taking a look. You will notice a familiar voice doing the voiceover.
I recognize one of the voices.
So we're happy about those, and they've been a great training opportunity, because obviously they're available 24/7. So if
Right.
if tonight you're saying, that enhanced profile thing sounds pretty cool. I wonder how to do that. Go to Seller University, type Seller University into the search bar in your Seller Central, and it's real easy to find.
Okay, so what if, like, let's say you have 100 units of Post-it pads. We'll go back to our Post-it pad example, but only 30 of them are FBA, and then the other 70 are merchant fulfilled. Can you count your merchant fulfilled listings for business, or is it only your FBA inventory?
You can add quantity discounts to either. What I can't answer is whether or not you can commingle the different fulfillment channels in a quantity discount. That's one I'm not sure of.
We
I
stumped
think,
him.
yeah, I think if I were to venture a guess, it does create the opportunity for kind of a fractured customer experience. So I'd be careful about that. But from a policy perspective and a functionality perspective, I don't know how that would work.
But you can merchant fulfill to business customers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Well,
and it's a good point, because you think about, for example, we have a very successful seller this year, who sells commercial ice makers. So you think of an ice machine that you'd see under a bar or at a restaurant. That's not a typical FBA sized product. And you also think about the fact that a lot of businesses that are joining the marketplace as sellers already have a pretty robust fulfillment network of their own, because they've been delivering large quantities of products to other business customers through other channels for years. So while FBA is still absolutely an option, we are challenging our own fulfillment network in some areas here with the size and the quantity of some of the deliveries that we're now being asked to fulfill by our business customers. So that's another area of innovation that we're looking at, but it does create a unique opportunity in some cases for these robust, mature fulfillment programs that companies already have in place.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a company owner. Their company makes like giant gears for like factory stuff, right? So, and I was like, oh, you guys should get on Amazon Business. And he was like, well, how would that work? Like, because what they sell is like a giant industrial thing. So there's definitely a place for them on Amazon Business as well.
Absolutely.
Would work with their own fulfillment that they're already doing.
Yeah, we have a perception issue still, which is that a lot of people just associate the Amazon name with your consumer experience. So I've got a lot of work to do on the marketing side to continue to spread the word about about what is now appropriate to sell on Amazon, or really relevant to sell on Amazon, that people may not have associated with our brand in the past, just because of our very successful history of being a trusted consumer experience at home. So the paradigm is really shifting with Amazon Business, and we've got a lot of work to do, because people are we benefit from the fact that people are so ingrained in their trusted Amazon experience that we're now asking them to think a little bit differently about us. And that's hard for some people to do. And that's why I was so adamant about, if you set up a business customer buying account, use a different email address, because if you change someone's Amazon experience, be wary, because they don't change my Amazon homepage.
Don't change my Amazon experience.
Exactly. Don't mess with my Amazon experience.
So one of the challenges sellers have been facing in the last year is that, I think because the warehouses are getting all so full, that the long-term storage fees have gotten higher and higher, and they've been getting sooner. Like, it used to be we had a year, now we have 6 months. And this year they implemented higher storage fees for November and December. And so a lot of us are reticent to send in large quantities. Like, there was a time, for example, I'm getting 1,000 units of my product that I'm ordering from China, right? But there was a time 3 years ago where I would have just sent that in.
Yeah.
But now I'm sending it in smaller batches, because I don't want to get hit with long-term storage fees. So that seems a little bit at odds with the business of it wanting to have large quantities available for business. So is there any solution for that?
We're always looking for a solution. I think I think we're challenging ourselves. We're certainly challenging ourselves, and it's not we're certainly not trying to make life difficult on everybody. What we're trying to do is protect the customer experience,
Right.
obviously, and in some cases that makes things challenging for sellers when we reach our own limitations of fulfillment facilities, for example. I think we're excited about continued innovations in the form of seller fulfilled prime, for example, where you can maintain your prime eligibility in your customer facing listings, but fulfill from your own, from your own warehouses or from your own facilities. So I think that's an area where we have a tremendous opportunity to innovate in the short term as we address some of the larger issues being, we got to keep building fulfillment centers.
Right.
I think we've proven that we will continue to do that, because that's a big part of we always talk about the price, the selection, and the convenience in the form of fast delivery. And in order to continue to deliver on those three really foundational pillars of the Amazon experience, we've got to keep building and we've got to keep investing. And I think we've proven that we're going to do that. But at sometimes like right now, everyone's heard, the difficulties with FBA right now in terms of stopping shipments. We're challenging ourselves, and we need to continue to innovate around that to continue to uphold that customer experience. So realize it's a challenge for sellers, and I encourage everyone to look at things like Seller Fulfilled Prime as a way to bridge the gap as we continue to build out our fulfillment capabilities.
Yeah, Seller Fulfilled Prime I think is great for larger sellers, but for smaller sellers it's out of reach. So,
Yeah.
But I think that the other key here is always knowing your velocity of your product. So, if you have something that's selling a lot, you can send more in. But I think you'll just be able to incorporate the Amazon Business velocity into that. So, okay, here's another question. How will the business customers see the quantity discount if different business sellers offer different price breaks? So I guess if I'm offering 10% off if you buy 50, but you're offering 20% off if you buy 50, but my price is lower and your price is higher, how do they analyze that?
Okay. You stumped me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think the question revolves around the idea of how quantity discounts affect the buy box.
Right. Oh, thank you. That's a very much better summary of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How does the quantity discount affect the buy box? And if I understand that correctly, you have a couple different variables. Obviously, it's
right.
If one seller is offering price breaks at 10 and 20, but another seller is offering price breaks at 15 and 25.
Right.
How does that affect the buy box?
Yeah.
And I think what I've just managed to do is very adequately describe a question that I don't have the answer to.
Okay, good. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Life is like that.
Yeah.
And then, kind of that connects with a lot of people now are using automated repricers to control their volume.
Yes.
Can repricers work with Amazon Business?
They can in certain cases, and we're working on ways to make that more efficient. Early on, we certainly had some issues where what would happen is a business price would disappear if your retail price dropped below the business price. So a business price is designed to be lower than your retail price, and it would effectively go away if they're turning off the lights on me here.
Is everybody leaving you in the office?
Yeah, I'm burning the midnight oil here. But typically, really what was happening was repricers were causing some of those problems. So we've worked on a lot of different fixes for that. So the answer today is yes, they do work, but I will qualify that with different repricers have different effects on how that functionality will work.
All right. What about becoming an Amazon Business customer on my current Prime consumer account? You can't use your if you're a business customer, you can't use your Prime account. Doesn't get you you don't get Prime shipping or whatever, right?
Correct.
It's separate. It's a separate buying experience.
Correct. So when you think about it this way: a business customer doesn't need streaming video. They don't need a lot of the Prime benefits. the biggest prime benefit for a business customer is the shipping. So,
Right.
so on Amazon fulfilled, so FBA or retail orders of $49 or over for business customers, it's free 2-day shipping. Okay, so it's a lot like the prime. It's a lot like the prime eligibility program, but you don't get all the other bells and whistles. So I would just encourage everybody, again, if you commingle your business purchases and your consumer purchases, just be careful when you register for your business account, because it does change your experience, and it changes your prime experience especially. One of the requests that we get very often is if you have a business account and a consumer account, people want to toggle back and forth.
Uh-huh.
That's a request we get a lot. We're not there yet, but I've heard the request enough that I think it's a valuable one to point out, just so that everybody understands that that's the kind of thing that experienced customers in this case are asking for. Haven't solved it, certainly, but that's, I think that's ideally the type of experience that we would love to create at some point. And you think about especially like a small business where you could be filling your basket with stuff for home and for work at the same time. Those are the types of customers we don't want to alienate by either making them take away their prime experience or taking away business prices. But that's where we are today, and that's why I'm really careful about explaining to everybody that your experience does change based on your login.
Okay. So anecdotally,
Yes.
have you heard of any sellers who just like were before, but now they're just killing it on business, like they're just doing great? Like what are like the most successful Amazon business sellers selling? What are they doing differently?
Well, yeah, it's such a broad broad question. For example, I talked to a seller a couple days ago who is selling medical supplies, and
Okay.
they used to run a catalog based business where they were selling to larger hospitals and larger quantities and things, but they wanted to access the like the doctor's offices and the smaller physicians offices, dental offices, things like that, without disrupting their normal path to market. So they created a new brand name and a new kind of DBA to create an e-commerce channel on Amazon Business. And they started selling a lot of those products under this new name, targeting those smaller business buyers like physicians' offices, dental offices, smaller medical facilities. And today they've grown their business to an impressive degree, and it is 90% incremental business, meaning that they've shifted about 10% to the new Amazon experience, but 90% of that business is reaching new customers. So in this case, they were already in the B2B space, but they were in kind of an old school channel. So by opening this new channel, they're now able to reach a very different type of customer. At Amazon's Women's Entrepreneur Conference earlier this year, I had a really interesting conversation with a seller that really surprised me. She was in the jewelry business.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I loved Amazon Business. And I said, well, what do you sell? She said, jewelry. I said, jewelry? I wouldn't have expected jewelry. And she says, well, I sell customizable dog tags that companies use for corporate gifts. And I've just been really, she had fulfilled 150 the week before to a business customer who was doing a corporate retreat and wanted to do a giveaway for all of their employees that visited the retreat. So
can you tie in your Amazon custom account with Amazon Business, I guess, is what she did?
Not today. In this case.
So how did she do that?
I don't know the specifics.
I think she dodged the system a little bit to do that.
Could be.
Cool though, but that's great. So I think corporate gifts is a huge opportunity on both all the different parts of Amazon. But let's see, are there any other questions from the audience? We are coming up on our hour marker here. So Colin has been great, hopefully staying in the office a little bit late tonight. What is it? It's 7 there, right?
Yeah, no problem.
You're probably there that late.
I try not to be. But.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your staying late for us. And we really appreciate your taking the time to answer all our questions.
Sure.
And I also have loved being able to just email you if I have a question. And so I can do that. And he usually gets back to me within at least a week if he can. So as our community learns more about Amazon business, it's great to be able to have somebody to ask questions of. Now, are you traveling to any other reseller conferences in 2017 that you know of?
Yeah, we'll have a pretty robust schedule. I mean, we do a lot of the kind of the usual suspect ones, like, you know, Retail Global, IRCE is one we do. You know, I think the
You'll be at Prosper.
Possibly. I think we're scoping some of these things. I think we've done a lot of events. We're doing a lot of events, but a lot of the events are more kind of industry specific, whether that's industrial supply or professional medical and dental. And
Interesting.
you know,
Okay.
some of these places where we're you know, diving a little more deeply into areas of selection that our customers are asking for. So we're going to have a pretty broad base. You know, I think you know, like the IRCEs and the Retail Globals are really important to us to go reach out to sellers. But you know, we're also really we're open to suggestion. I mean, if there's places that we can that we can help, we definitely want to do that. We're looking forward to getting, you know, more so than in the past. I think we're really looking forward to getting out in front of sellers for the feedback we've gotten from people like yourself, Cordelia, and you know, and just getting out in front of sellers and talking to them about the day-to-day challenges they have is just really important feedback for us, and really exciting for us, because it's very easy for us to really get kind of heads down in the office and you know, trying to hit our goals in terms of helping sellers and helping our customers. But in the long run, I'm just really excited by the fact that I can, you know, get out in front of, you know, in front of groups of sellers to talk about some of the challenges and the pain points that you have, because we're a unique company in that if we hear that there is a problem we can solve, we're going to go try to solve it. So I'm just really grateful to have been given the opportunity to talk to you.
Well, thank you, Colin. I think you gave us a little, we call them bolos. I don't know if you've heard of that term before, things to be on the lookout for to sell. So Colin unintentionally just gave us a bolo, which is that he is going to specialty industry conferences like dental and medical technology to try to get them on Amazon Business. So we've been asking him the whole show to tell us what they are lacking in the Amazon catalog. So I would have to wager a guess that based on your conference attendance,
yeah,
some of that more technical manufacturing stuff that in the past wasn't really the domain of Amazon, because you don't have a lot of people ordering specialty equipment
from
Amazon.com. But that's,
yeah, and it's, you know, there's,
you can go out there and reach those people. So can we.
Yeah. So, you know, and we're, you know, we're going to some of those, you know, just in the last few weeks, we've been at furniture shows. We've been at medical and dental shows. We've been at food service events. We've been at industrial supply events. We've been at automotive events. So these are, you know, and no reason to keep that a secret. Those are the places that we're going to talk to sellers about adding their selection to the marketplace. And that's all publicly available stuff. We're getting out. We're getting in front of those opportunities. You know, if any of you that may have been at IRCE this year, for example, there was a great presentation from Forrester Research along with our VP at Amazon Business, Prentice Wilson, and they used a great example of where they could see Amazon Business going, and they talked about an auto mechanic being, you know, on his crawler underneath a vehicle with his hands dirty, notices that the timing belt is out, and he yells across the garage. He says, "Alexa, order me a timing belt for a '93 Camry." And
yeah,
that's an example of how some of this Amazon technology could come together and you know, give that mechanic a B2B fulfillment experience where he's getting the business specific product that he needs to run his business while delighting that automotive customer at the end of the day. So that's where we can see a lot of this stuff coming together in the long run. And again, we're excited to work with the sellers to bring us that selection.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Colin. It was great talking to you, and we'll let you go home and have dinner.
Awesome.
Thank you. And hope to see you at some point in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Good selling.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That my brain is like percolating with all sorts of ideas. I hope your brain is too. Oh, this was a production of Scanner Monkey. We are an organization of Amazon sellers. So we are like the Chamber of Commerce for Amazon sellers. We have an amazing, vital, positive Facebook group with over 1,300 successful sellers who are members. And if you have a question, it's usually answered lickety split by a bunch of people who really know what they're talking about. We have an amazing membership base. We also have members only discounts. We don't do any affiliate marketing to our membership. We pass all those savings on to you. So we do our best to go out. We have discounts on repricers. We have discounts on shipping supplies. We have discounts on conferences, classes, other software products, receipt organization software, and we're always adding new discounts all the time. Pretty much the main thing that, if there's a new discount that we can get, we go out and try to get it. We also do these shows every week on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have different industry experts like Colin, successful sellers, and as a member, you have access to our over 100 archive episodes that we've already recorded, just amazing content. And then we also have deals. We have live networking events. We have contests. Our members have won thousands of dollars of coaching and other prizes. So it's a really fun group. So thank you guys so much. And we definitely look forward to seeing you around. Have a great night.